Okay, we're going to take a look at some emails. So this is the Michael Allmain case. Evidentiary hearing was March 12th. And one of the things that Melissa Pleimann, deputy prosecutor, was trying to say is that, oh, Michael didn't even try to get his dog. And so we own the dog. And so basically they're going to just do what they want, right? Kept pushing for that. And then, of course, there's emails that the city or the county or some people coordinate, we'll get those soon, coordinated in order to get his dog, get it out of the county where he could never find it. So I don't understand really what liability that Melissa Pleimann or the county would have for flat out lying, saying that a man did not even try to get his dog, so his private property that was conspired against to steal, I'm claiming, from Center Valley Vet, that they conspired to put a lien on all the time. And I'm saying this is conspiratory to theft. But they claimed in court that he didn't even try to get the dog. So they can just take a homeless person's dog, lie about it, lie that the guy didn't even try. Okay, so I'm not sure the timeline on some things, which is when did he get a criminal attorney? When were criminal charges actually filed? I know when I let everybody know, so they knew, plus they knew whose dog it was when they picked it up. And another interesting note on this that I've forgot to mention to some folks is he didn't have his driver's license. There's some nonprofit that was allegedly helping him with something called Recovery or something. And you'll see that referred to in the email I'm about to show you. And they had his ID. So he couldn't get to the post office for general delivery without an ID. And so he told the county prosecutor this, okay? So he messaged people and they messaged him back. They were aware and in contact with him. They ignored him, but also they lied in court. Do they have to be under oath? Or is it just me as a witness have to be under oath? Because Melissa Pleimann flat out lied. She had a record that showed, and plus she was one of the people I had emailed my sworn affidavit. She had a record that he was trying to get his dog. And so she knew. So she was deliberately, in my opinion, I allege, conspiring with all of the mob you see in my 6-part video, I'll put in the description, at Center Valley Animal Rescue and Port Townsend community page led by, well, it was led by Michelle Sanchez, but Wade Ranson jumped on the bandwagon against this homeless man. They all just assumed horrible things about him. So with the county, through Melissa Pleimann, deputy prosecutor, flat out lying and saying this man didn't, he said he didn't even try to get his dog, so the time has passed. He can't now. He let the time pass and he didn't even try to get his dog, and so we own the dog. And by we, what? Is that's the lien that Center Valley Animal Rescue, because they would own it with the biggest lien, right? And they could do what they want. So this was all set up, premeditated, pre-planned, and criminal, I allege. Okay, there is a clear record that he tried to get his dog. He tried with the county. He tried with the shelter. I notified people. Yes, I'm homeless. There's probably some discrimination there. But I also have a nonprofit that I've had for 7 years. And I have status as a reverend through the IRS and through the system. I'm no more less or more important than the other nonprofits, right? As a spiritual leader in the community, whether they think so or not, I let them know. There was some acknowledgement of receipt of my affidavit, but they're trying to claim in court flat out lies that Michael didn't try to get his dog, and so we own it. Okay, so, and they were saying that he only had 14 days. So in those 14 days, was he given a criminal attorney? Was he didn't have a driver's license, he didn't have an attorney, he had no way to get the dog. So they violated his rights and then lied about it in court, I allege. Okay, so somewhere around November 25th, the dog was missing, and he started looking for it right away. He contacted the police. I'm not sure about those records. We'll try to get those records. But we do have a record of the 26th of November that he emailed the Humane Society. And so they're flat out lying that he didn't try to get the dog. And within the first 14 days even. And so now we are at March 17th, St. Patty's Day, And he still does not have the dog. And then we go to court, like I said, March 12th, and Melissa Pleimann flat out lied that he didn't try to get the dog and said, too late, sorry, too bad. You didn't even try to get your family member. You made no effort to get him, so we own it. You know, we can adopt it out. We can do whatever we want. Oh, but no, I don't represent Center Valley Animal Rescue, and you know, we shouldn't be talking about them because they're not here. Well, but at the same time, their lien was preventing him from getting his dog. So it's his personal property, I allege they stole, but it's also his emotional support animal, of which he needed to keep warm and keep alive emotionally. And these people have cruel, malicious intent and flat out lies. And when the county attorney lies in court, what do? I mean, it's not just like it's two attorneys, you know, in the normal thing where like, my client did this and my client did that. And, you know, they fight both sides. But she represents the city of Port Townsend. I'm not saying she represents them, but she's representing that viewpoint, in my opinion. And she's representing the county. So if you live in Jefferson County, Washington, all of this stuff applies to you. Otherwise, it's severe discrimination. And if the county attorney can flat out lie about people that they're prosecuting, then they can just go and pick up any of you at any time and just lie about what they saw, lie about what you did, and there's no record and no one to stand up for you. So it's just, you're just SOL. Your property's taken, your dog's taken, whatever the issue is. So let's look at a couple of contacts that Michael made. Okay, first of all, this is November 26th, 2020. Okay, so this is just after Moses was taken. And I'll show you the pictures another day. It says, I want my dog back. Now, see, it was sent to the shelter at HSJ, you know, it was sent to the cwa.org. Okay? Didn't even try to get his dog back. Absolute lies. I want my dog back. He is mine. He has never been mistreated, neglected, or even punished. And I want the animal rights activist groups to, let me see. It's kind of cut off here. So let's see here. I have it. Okay, so I want my dog back. I have it on this other thing. It'll be easier to read. I want my dog back. He's mine. He's never been mistreated, neglected, or even punished. And I want the animal rights activist groups to back off and quit making our lives harder. Okay, so they all ganged up on him. And I'm alleging in criminal intent because there's a record that they planned to do it the whole time. So this would be under malicious intent. This is also going to be, I am alleging that they're prejudicing him. So they're pretending, flat out lying about some former incident, and they're using evidence against the former incident against him for this one. They're prejudicing him in court, and that's a legal term. They've prejudiced him, and they're saying that. So basically, it's like they're trying to convict him for a past event, but in the current event, that's the city of Port Townsend was an animal at large. As far as what was wrong with him, is it like teeth, ear mites, and ears. Okay, so no like abuse and neglect. They're trying to go after the former incident. So they're bringing in something from a couple of years ago that was hearsay and he wasn't actually charged of. Okay, and on top of that, Deputy Prosecutor Melissa Pleimann said about my testimony that it was completely irrelevant. So I witnessed him every day and every night for years and during the day at Safeway. That was irrelevant because I didn't witness him like that day. So right around Thanksgiving or that week or whatever, I didn't see him that day, so that's irrelevant. Yet they're bringing in stuff from 2 years ago, and that seems to be okay. Okay, I now have housing, water, and electric, and this needs to stop. People need to get facts and quit ruining our lives because they're assumptions and fears. I've never disagreed to have him seen. He has been cared for every day in front of the entire town, regular checkup on by local police, and I can prove it. Something else I was going to say. So, right, assumptions. Okay. I forgot what I was going to say. Also, because of the hype after his car accident that blew up publicly, right, so that's what I wanted to say. On that thread, he spent hours. So there was about 250 comments, and I did a video. I'll put a link in the description. He defended every one of them with the facts and his side of the story. And Center Valley Animal Rescue deleted them all. And at Port Townsend community page, where I saw it play out, there was hate and horrible against him. I defended him. Wade Ranson, he deleted all of my stuff, all of those supporting Michael, and all of Michael's side. Okay, so it's very vicious discrimination against this one man to paint their side of this story. So it says also because of the hype after his car accident that blew up publicly with nothing but assumptions without my knowledge and painted a false picture, I'm alleging, this is me, Reverend Crystal Cox, I'm alleging that's criminal defamation because it was an intent to steal personal property. That to this day, not from one person from Center Valley or anywhere else had the respect to call me for the truth. So they didn't even call him and ask him what happened. They found the dog, they assumed, they vilified him in complete discrimination. With total disregard for his life, the life of his children, his pets, and just for human life in general. I've always been accountable for my mistakes and even for others' mistakes, and I'm drawing the line here. If there's any kind of evaluation done in this case, it needs to be done by an out of the county vet, whom has no relation to the parties or the organization from the publicly of this animal. I will make this as public as humanly possible, and I will not stop until my dog is returned to myself, whom he has been with every day since he was 8 weeks old. I have no intention of giving up until my dog is returned to me. I appreciate the care and concern for him and could have simply been done by communication rather than trespassing and letting him loose. This is to be a community, and it has turned into a lynch mob. And God will always let the truth overcome the ignorance and disrespect that I've been shown. Thank you, and if you can't reach me by phone, my name is Michael Allmain, and you can find me on Messenger. I will also be sending this to the local police, every attorney in the state if needed. Thank you, have a great holiday, we're in this together. Okay, so this was sent November 26th, okay? So right away to the county that's claiming in court through the mouth and flat out lies of Melissa Pleimann, Deputy County Attorney. She flat out lied that he didn't even try. And all these months later, oh, you know, it's too late. You didn't even try to get him in the beginning. And they held him past this. They illegally, in my opinion, have held this dog for months and tried to ruin this man's life, tried to drive him to suicide, freezing to death, take his family, take his pet, all because of their, well, they didn't... Well, it's complete discrimination. It's violation of a whole lot of laws in which I intend to paint it all out. And who am I? Well, any private citizen can file a criminal complaint. I'm going to file a complaint against the nonprofit, the county, every person involved at some point when we get all the freedom of information and I have all the evidence, the state agencies and federal agencies. At some point we'll get criminal and civil complaints on all of this filed by a concerned citizen, which I do have the right to do, as I did many times as an investigative blogger fighting against corruption. Okay, so again, this was the original email, Moses Wolf Hybrid, sent to the county, of which Melissa Pleimann flat out lies and says there is no record of this. And I myself emailed her directly. I didn't realize that till just a few minutes ago because I'd realized a whole bunch of different people within the county. Okay, so now let's fast forward here, to December 16th, 2020. Sent to the county attorney. Now, I'm not sure when criminal charges were filed or exactly the date that the attorney was appointed. Okay, keep in mind, he didn't have an ID, right? So I'm going to go back over here to this other page to read this. So he didn't have an ID, and he told the county attorney, and so then now, because they filed criminal charges, they're in opposition to him, so they can't talk to him anymore, right? So when did these charges exactly get filed? All of the chronology of this, I'm going to make this publicly available. See, there's not, when they do this in the dark, like in district court and stuff, and by the dark I mean that if you don't go and witness it, right, it's hard to get a record. And it seems to be that the county attorney can say whatever she wants. She could have accused Michael of murder. She could have accused him of anything she wanted to, and without even proving it, and to completely defame him and attempt to ruin his life. Thankfully, Judge Cindy Walker actually followed the law. And I'm surprised because I have about like 5,000 blogs, fought corruption for 20 years. I rarely seen a judge actually apply the law or stand up to the county or the prominent people and actually say, no, wait a minute. Like, for example, with Melissa Pleimann saying, oh, we're not keeping the dog as evidence. And the judge is like, well, yeah, that's what you're doing. So there's a whole bunch of missteps here. And I don't know for sure, but I would assume that this has happened to many homeless people. They're like, we're not discriminating. Homeless could happen to the people in houses. No. I'm proving that on the Port Townsend community page where there's dogs at large all the time and they give them back to them. It is for this man, okay, this lynch mob. So their toxic rage or whatever emotional issues they all had that they went after this man is pretty obvious, and they all need to be held accountable. Okay, so he emailed the county attorney on December 16th, 2020, and it says this: as you know, I am homeless. My ID address is in recovery. So he didn't have an ID because this woman at the recovery, another local nonprofit that allegedly helping the homeless, took his ID and wouldn't give it back. Okay, so nobody's holding any of these people accountable. Why? Because they live in houses and they're the good guys, and us homeless, we're the bad guys. They're important, we're not. They're not mentally ill, we're mentally ill because we don't live in a home. Okay, so I don't trust I'll get my mail if it's mailed to Gabby. So the nonprofits are keeping his mail, keeping his ID. So this is Gabby at Recovery. It's another local nonprofit, and I will be getting information on that. I had forgot about this aspect of it. There is a lot of different things going on here. There's a lot of people going to be exposed, and it's going to paint a picture of what the homeless in Jefferson County actually go through. So the public thinks all these nonprofits and government agencies are helping us, but really not only are they not helping us, they are maliciously, violently torturing us and using us for their profit, their mental illness facilities, pay them to give us professional services, more and more grants, more and more nonprofits to give us, what do they call them? Supportive services. We don't need supportive services, okay? I don't need like a whole house full of furniture when I don't have a house, okay? It's housing first, then the supportive services. Just giving the homeless supportive services is tooting your own horn, is creating money, grant money, wages for all the people involved, and has nothing to do with helping the homeless. Okay, there's no way that these supportive services are going to help me if I don't have actually core survival stuff. Okay, so it's just putting a Band-Aid on something that needs a tourniquet, you know, or something, a Band-Aid on just, anyway, you get the point. So these nonprofits, I see them on Facebook all the time. We provide supportive services for homeless. What does that mean? You walk around the street and go, what do you need? What do you need? What can I give you? So what can I give you to help you survive today? Okay. Meanwhile, the grant money that's going to all these nonprofits could actually house the people. So it's not about housing the people. Okay. It's about the do-gooders and the nonprofits and the counties and the governments getting their money and creating more mental facilities so we can go and pay the doctors a bunch of money to tell us why we're homeless. Okay, what about mental health issues of people that, or addictions of people that live in houses? So it is complete discrimination. Okay, so he doesn't trust this woman's going to give him his mail. He's reaching out for help. No one's listening. Okay, and soon, please, so I can move forward. So he's asking, help me get this dealt with because he wants to get his dog. But yet Melissa Pleimann flat out lied in court and said that he didn't even try. Okay, she is cruel and evil. She has no soul, in my opinion. She's just dark, dark, dark. So I can move forward in my defense, as well as some kind of justice that is intentionally being taken from me. I expect everyone enforcing and imposing law to also follow the rules in which I am expected to, as they are not exempt to law. I know Gabby works with the police and feels she's holding my driver's license intentionally or avoiding me intentionally. No one has ever had a problem replying or contacting me unless it suited their agenda. I demand equal rights and intend to use my rights as well as the law and citizens to be treated like every other American. Enough is enough. I'm a good person and a good dog owner and have always been accountable for my mistakes and mistakes that were not mine. Thank you and good luck. Okay, so they completely discriminated against this man. And anyone who doesn't see that, well, I guess then you're just not looking. I'm going to paint this picture, and I'm going to shout it from the rooftops, and I'm going to file complaints everywhere I can. And whether justice is served or not, that will be in the hands of the Great Spirit. However, it will show pattern in history. It will show conspiracy. And if other homeless people step up, maybe at some point it will be a RICO lawsuit of pattern in history of all these different agencies using the homeless and being vicious and using pets and to enrich themselves, which is a legal term, unjust enrichment. Okay, so it will expose what they've done to this one man, and I believe it'll show a model of what they do to others. Okay, it is pretty clear. And his side of the story was completely deleted from all of these Facebook sites. So think for yourself, folks. Do your own homework. A lot of people just like to think it's me. So I'm the problem because I'm the messenger. And I'm just someone who was sleeping downtown in a car in Port Townsend for 5 years and noticed a man in a vehicle next to me every day and every night for years, never spoke to him. And then I saw on the Port Townsend community page what they were saying about the man and his dog, and I knew it wasn't true. And I chose to be honorable and speak up to the truth. And what I've uncovered afterwards is shocking. It's hard to believe that a nonprofit and all of these hundreds of people would gang up against one man to promote a lie to ruin his life, drive him insane, hurt him mentally, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. It's pretty shocking. My email is reverendcrystalcox@gmail.com. If you would like to message me for any parts of this, if you have any tips, or if you know of an attorney that would like to sue all parties. Again, I'm not speaking for Michael in any way. I'm speaking for myself, as I am the director of my own nonprofit church, 7 years in. And also I've been an investigative blogger for 20 years. I have been exposing corruption for a long time. I don't do that anymore because I'm focused on my spiritual work. However, this is in alignment with my spiritual work of raising the consciousness of Mother Earth and her people and her animals, which is my motto. And so I will not sit silently knowing something that no one else knows and let this man suffer. And I hope that you won't either, whoever's listening to this. God has blessed you all.